Hey everybody, how's it going? We are here with a timeless reading. The first card that we have out is the Ten of Swords. Looks like we're getting down to it with something here. I'm feeling you be in a little bit of a transition currently, but towards the tail end of it, where you may have been being like a little bit low-key. It feels like there's going to be like a coming out or something now. The way that I'm seeing it, it's like you've been going through a chapter that's been closing out, but now I'm seeing you be like at the bottom of it or at the end of it. So it's like almost finished. Because, you know, like usually with endings, it's not like, it's generally drawn out a little bit. So I'm seeing you closing that out, like being finished with this, where I don't think that the Ten of Swords would come up again, but it feels like it's here to say like you're at the end of this. And then I'm seeing the Four of Cups, but with this Four of Cups, the feeling that I'm getting from this person is kind of like, I feel like you'd been tending to whatever this was that had been ending. And what I'm seeing is that it looks like see this person, I feel like you've been back behind here tending to this. And this thing is going to be coming through. So I'm seeing an Ace of Cups coming through. And this person is like just starting to turn. So it looks like they're just about to see this. So I feel like you've been back here tending to whatever you've been needing to tend to. And that you're about to like turn around and like come out and grab that. But you may have not been in the spot to be able to do that before. Because you were tending to something else. But now that it's ending, I'm seeing that not really be a thing that you need to be doing anymore. Okay. This is feeling again like a transition. Two of Pentacles is feeling like closing out this ending and now sort of like coming out from, I don't know why we keep using this phrase for it, but it's like I'm seeing this person come out from behind the tree. So I feel like it's that balance between now this thing is ending and it's sort of that transitionary space between, so like what am I doing now or what's next? It's like having a foot in like old land and the new land, and you're sort of in that in between of like you're about to be crossing over fully, but you may not feel like you're fully there yet. And so you sort of like you have your feet in both places, but the one on the old place is sort of beginning to lift up and you're like about to be plopping over to the new spot. It's a dance. And maybe not the easiest one either. It looks like you're gonna be spending some time with yourself. Some of you, you're getting into planting or something that you feel is like cathartic in a sense. Some of you, you're getting into exercise. This person feels very yogic to me. There could be like meditating that you're doing, yoga, you could be writing, some of you, you're listening to music, making playlists, you could be planting, anything that you feel like is nurturing yourself, connecting with your self-care. For some of you, I'm seeing things with amethyst crystals. I'm also seeing a green crystal here. It sort of like feels like a centering yourself that's happening. And this can be a period of reflection for you, but to have the strength here, you may need to deliberately make that time, because it may not come unless you do that. Yeah. Resting, recovering, reconnecting, centering, grounding. I'm hearing a song by J. Cole. I don't remember what the name of the song is though. I'm like, it's been these last couple cards I've been hearing it. He says everything comes back around full circle. Something about like why do lies sound pleasant but the truth is hurtful? Something like that. And I am seeing the Seven of Swords come out here too. So we have Queen of Pentacles and we have Six of Wands. So this is like a personal victory. But then we also have Seven of Swords and we also have Ace of Wands. So this can be like I'm going through a personal victory, but also I'm feeling something coming up that may get in the way of an opportunity for me. But I'm seeing it's for like the way that this shadow is popping up, like what it has to do with, right? Because the shadow can be popping up and doing lots of things or show up in lots of different ways. How this is manifesting is a lack of prioritizing on your end. So that's what this shadow is and why this is popping up. So it's like if you're not prioritizing properly, it's going to get in the way of this opportunity that I'm seeing be here for you. And you're like coming off of a win, a personal win is what I'm seeing. Like you accomplished now something personally for yourself that feels important, where it feels like, wow, I just did that. Six of Wands. So it's like this moment of recognition of like, I really did just come out on the other side of this, or I really did just figure this out, or this thing actually just finally happened successfully for me. And also, that's not where we end, right? Like, this story is continuing. So I'm seeing, like, the next thing that you're about to get into. But I'm seeing the Seven of Swords. So it feels like don't let this, like, little win that you're going through right now sabotage, like, what's coming up next. Because you don't want to get stuck there. There's more to come and there's more that you're doing. It's like you just aced an exam that you had. And you're like, don't get too busy celebrating that you're not studying for the next one, because I'm seeing something is coming up here. But some of you, you're feeling anxious about this. It's like, but the next exam is going to be so much harder. And this is what I'm saying with like needing to prioritize, because I'm seeing something that looks a little bit overwhelming. But it's like, you just accomplished this. I don't know why this next thing is throwing you off so much, but for some of you, I'm seeing you be thrown off here. What I'm noticing is that what you're meant to be doing right now is, it's not nothing, but you're not meant to be actively moving around, getting into a bunch of stuff. You're supposed to be spending this time resting and reflecting and not making yourself busy, is what I'm seeing here. But some of you have a hard time being still, but that's actually what's needed. I do see an opportunity coming up for you, but it may be something, having strength and having Ace of Wands, it's like this is something that would be really good for you, but for those of you that you're like, I don't know if I can do it, I don't know if I'm strong enough, I don't know if I'm brave enough, like, can I do it? Strength is about willpower. So it's like, how much are you applying yourself here? I'm seeing that there's an opportunity that you're going to hold on to, or reach out for, and it wants to meet you. But having Hermit here and having Eight of Swords, it's like the need to actually reflect and sort of tuck yourself away in a mindful way. Because Hermit mode doesn't mean that you're like, okay, I'm going to take a whole week off of work and I'm going to spend the whole time scrolling on my phone and sleeping and eating junk food. It's like, this is time that you're supposed to spend actually reflecting on things so you can move forward. Because it feels even like there's resting that's needed, but it's like in order to recharge. You know when we feel really, really burnt out from work and then you have some time off, and rather than spending that time recuperating, you end up doing a bunch of stuff, and then when you go back to work, it's like, I feel like I didn't rest at all. I feel like I didn't come back into my body at all. and now I have to be working again on top of it. It's like going into work then on Monday or whenever it is that we go back into work and feeling completely drained because we didn't spend the time that we needed to prepare. Because I am seeing there be a challenge that's coming up, but I'm seeing you can be very prepared for it and it's going to make it a lot easier for you. But some of you, you're like, well, maybe I'm just going to fail the exam because I'm not smart enough, when it's like, you are smart enough. You're just being lazy and not studying for it. So it can be, but it's coming from a place of insecurity. And I'm seeing your shadow. It's like your shadow telling you that it doesn't matter how much you study. You're not going to do well on it anyway. So you might as well go out partying, you know, like this. But I'm seeing like that's why this needs to be prioritized. And you don't need to make it everything, but you need to bring it into part of the mix, okay? Is what I'm seeing. Because then when the testing time comes, you're going to feel like you're prepared for it. And then you're going to ace it, just like you just aced this other thing. But yeah, I'm seeing like the way that your shadow is playing into this is being like, let's do this instead, when you know that you should be prioritizing things. And then when you're like, listen, shadow, I really need to be focusing on this right now. It's really important that I put this on my to-do list. The shadow's like, you're not going to accomplish it anyway. You might as well just scratch it off of there and not even attempt to. It's like that sort of thing. So just be mindful of how the shadow plays tricks and wants to play with you. And having strength here shows that, like, if you're applying and asserting your willpower, it's not going to have the power over you and it's not going to be influencing you. But half of the battle is like being aware of this and that it's happening in the first place. So that's what this feels like, just being mindful of what's going on, because I'm seeing you be very much on track, but I'm definitely seeing your shadow be like, it's showtime, wants to come up and be on stage with you, and you have to like push it off stage here and be like, no, that's not the way that this scene is gonna go. Because you know how the scene is meant to be going here. Seeing Leo. So you're coming off of an ending. I am seeing that it feels like life is sort of coming back into you, is what this feels like. 4 of Cups and 6 of Wands. But it can also feel like, I know that I'm doing all right now, but I'm still kind of thawing out from this other thing. And so there's, yeah, a thawing out that's happening. Need to prioritize what's important. Do not sabotage the prioritizing of important things. You need to show up. That's what the Strength card is feeling like. Just show up. Hermit and 8 of Swords. Hermit and 8 of Swords is spending time sort of reflecting on things that may not feel like the most pleasant things right now. And it can also be a fear of being alone or a fear of being isolated, but needing to spend this time actually working through. Because I'm seeing it's kind of like this. When you go into this period of reflection, at first, it's going to be like all of the anxiety popping up. But as you keep traveling through, you're going to make it to this part where you actually can sleep. So it's like in the beginning of this little venture that you're moving through into solitude, like at the first stop, it's like all of these spooky things popping up and you being like, this is why I didn't want to come this way anyway, you know. And it can be all the things that we do to avoid reflecting on this, but it's like, why am I feeling anxious? Why is this coming up? So this is the stuff that needs to be worked through and reflected upon. And then I'm seeing, like, once you're like, okay, I see what's going on there, I'm understanding that I'm worried about this, I'm hearing this concern of mine, and you sort of like recognize everything that's happening rather than trying to avoid it and push it away. Then the 4 of Swords is there, and then you're going to be like, this is the best night's sleep I've ever gotten. But it seems like you had maybe been running away from something or avoiding it because it was just like nobody really wants to face that. And your shadow's like, we don't have to do the work, it's okay, take the night off. But this is about reflecting on what's important so you can keep moving and not feel like you're haunted from this thing that you're running away from. So it's spending time working it out and working with it, Then you get that good night's sleep, metaphorically speaking, maybe even literally for some of you, and then you're going to be ready for what's up. But for some of you, like, you really need to spend time recharging. And I'm seeing that be like the main challenge here. Of not being still. Okay? Alright, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.